Drafting Director Jen.
Coach, certainly a scoring bonanza of sorts for the first half, but what did you think about the defense in the second half, especially the last 5 minutes? Did you see some improvement?
I mean, yeah, we were a little bit better down the stretch, but, we just today, we couldn't make shots, and our defense isn't good enough over the course of the game to have a bad offensive night. That's where we've put ourselves. Our defense was a little bit better down the stretch today, a little bit better in the second half, but overall our defense isn't good enough to win for us. So if we don't shoot the ball well, we're going to struggle. But down the stretch, yeah, we were a little bit better.
And it did seem like there was a lid on the basket there, those last especially 5 minutes. Was it an issue of just great D from the Spurs, or did you have an issue with shot selection from your squad?
I didn't really have a shot. I mean, I didn't have a problem with our shot selection. I did think their defense was good, yeah. We got to the free throw line a lot. I thought they defended the free throw pretty well down the stretch in the game. We had trouble making free throws. I thought their defense on that was good.
As far as San Antonio's defense as well, Coach, was that the first time this year we've seen basically the hockey line defense cross the free throw line trying to defend Zion? They just didn't let him penetrate.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job. I mean, he was still able to get to the rim, but it was hard to finish. I mean, they had big guys in there, and people are making adjustments. We're going to have to make some adjustments offensively. But, the adjustment was he was throwing the ball out, and, they're loaded up on him. We had open shots. We've got to make them. That's what it's going to come down to. And then if the defense spreads out, then you can't play him. So you can't take away everything. And they decided they were going to take him out. And I thought we had some good open looks that we didn't knock down. But I thought their defense was, good, very good.
Well, when you go back to the first half, now you cut the turnovers down minimally in the second half, but the first half they really were a big part of the ball game because they had you outscored by 7 in the first half, and it was a 6-point deficit. Every time the Pelicans turned the ball over, they got points out of it.
Yeah, I mean that's the number one key defensively is to take care of the ball offensively. Something we've gotten better at, but the first half tonight, we struggled with. I just, we didn't really struggle to get shots when we didn't turn it over. I thought that Murray was disruptive, created some problems for us, and then they were able to force some turnovers and go. I mean, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Stan, I know you were devoting a lot of time and energy to getting this defense fixed. I mean, has there ever been a stretch in your career before where, it just hasn't worked for your teams defensively for, 30, 35 games or whatever this is?
I don't think anybody, I mean, there's 2 teams below us right now. I mean, there's very few teams, if any, in history who have struggled this much defensively. So clearly, no. I mean, I'm not used to this, but I mean, we're just not getting the job done defensively. And like I've said many times, it's on all of us. I mean, I feel a huge burden right now, and it really weighs on me that I'm not getting us to play better defense, that I'm not finding answers rather either in who we're playing or how we're playing or anything else or how we're teaching. But our defense is just, it's not acceptable, and it's not going to win games for us. So it's that simple. We either change it or we're going to have a lot of nights like this.
Hey, Stan, I know you've mentioned, you don't turn corners. It's kind of, just a long slog of a season. But does it ever feel like, I mean, there are 5 and 10 minute stretches where defensively you guys seem to be competent, to be playing to be productive on the defensive end. Does that make it more frustrating that when you go out the next game, all that seems to sort of disappear? And do you have any understanding or reason for that?
Well, I think, first of all, anybody can play 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But I do think we're capable defensively. But it takes a sustained level of work, intensity, and concentration to be good defensively. And we haven't formed those habits. And that's on all of us. That's on me. That's on our coaching staff. That's on our players. That's on all of us.
Doug Mood's on, go ahead. think we lost Doug. Will, you can go ahead.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I guess specifically tonight I guess a team like this where you have a guy like DeRozan who can create with the ball as much as he does. Do you think that's a particular area where y'all struggled on defense, containing guys like that was high volume, ball centric guys who can create shots for themselves and others?
Well, clearly we have had problems with that all year. I mean, we just have been through Lillard and Chris Paul, and yeah, clearly we're having trouble with guards in different ways. In different ways and against different people, but clearly we've had a major problem with that.
And also a quick follow-up. I know you talked in the past about wanting to get Kyra more minutes. We've seen his minutes drop these past 3 games. I guess what do you want to see from him just to get a more consistent role in the rotation?
Yeah, I haven't, I haven't been happy with his defense. I'm trying to get more defense in there at the guard spot. Like I've said, I think he does a great job off the ball. On the ball, I think he's been struggling, and we've been trying to play Bled as our backup point guard more. We'll see how that goes going forward. I love Kyra. He's going to be a really, really good player. I thought in the last few games, even in the game in Milwaukee that we lost, playing a shorter rotation had helped us, but it also fatigues us. So it's just something that we've got to figure out.
And Stan, how hard is it for y'all to close games, or even just to beat anybody when Alonzo and Josh aren't able to connect? It seems like you guys were making the right pass a lot of times, and have both those guys cold the same night. I mean, just how challenging.
Well, but that's the problem when you have to shoot the ball well to win. That's going to be a problem. I mean, look, the guys are going to have bad nights shooting the ball. You've got to be able to win some games where you don't shoot the ball well. And right now, we can't. I mean, we're totally dependent on our offense to win games, and that's not going to take you very far. It's just not. I mean, you're going to have to be able to guard people to win games. I mean, and so we've got to be able to overcome nights like this. I mean, those guys kick themselves about missing shots, but three-point shooting is volatile, man. It's going to go up and down, and you got to be able to win on those other nights. And we'll find ways to get points. We'll get to the free throw line, we'll get to the rim and all of that. But we've got to be able to stop people, and it's just frustrating. And it's frustrating to them because they get frustrated when the shots aren't going, and they know they have to go in for us to win, and that's not the way it should be.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.